already did a course related to database management system. Also, some of you did as an elective or opted as an elective advanced database concepts course. Now, there would be definitely a question: is this course dependent on the topics those are covered in DBMS or ADC? Answer is partial, yes and maybe no. It depends, like how exactly you take this course as. Fine. So, considering this particular aspect, what exactly you are supposed to do in this course? Basically, this course was meant for targeting huge software, like softwares in terms of size, rather, in terms of number of files that you are using, and so on. Now, while working with such kind of big software, no matter which software you are picking, you definitely need to see the source code of the software. And the source code is not an individual's contribution, but it is contributed across the globe. Majority number of programmers are working with that code and they are getting this as an end user software. Okay. So in this case, we are this particular course theme that I have chosen, though I chose two of them. So first, already some of you already attended it, NASM, and this would be the second one. Okay, PostgreSQL. So here, like I assume majority of you must have visited the website that was created for our course. Yeah. So, like few things are added there which are helping you out in respect of the course conduct, as well as what would be kind of things that you would be required to read. So, like in ADC, you must have seen I put more stress on 9.4 or 9.5. So, first task that you are going to do in next 2 days is you are going to submit me what was there in 9.4 and what you see in 13.1 or in after whatever the version that you have with your laptop, 11.1 say for example. Fine. And like I have added documentations as well. Like these are the links that have been added by me over there. So you can, if you click on that link, then you would be taken appropriately to the documentation link related to say 9.4.26, which is one of the prominent software available, like one of the stable one. Okay. Then there were many changes made in the software from developers point of view, from users point of view, and so on. And then currently we are working with this. Okay, 13.1. So I don't expect specific version for a while, but definitely when you talk about 9.4 to 13.1 journey, there are lots of changes made. Okay, in organization at lower level, as well as in the kind of you may say internal aspect, those are addressed, or few of them were addressed by us in ADC kind of course. But even if you are not knowing about ADC per se, not an issue. You only need to know how to work with source code. Okay, when I say source code, ultimately, if you recall, when you started working with Postgres or when you started working with MySQL or any other software, you simply used apt-get install and then you install your software. Correct. Now we have to go beyond that particular aspect. Now, when I say you have to go beyond particular aspect, so let me take example for a while. Say if I write PSQL on my machine, as I have 9.4.26 installed, correct. So like what are the tables, what are the databases that I create? There are two important concepts. One is, okay, let me go to Teams and let me write into say chat window. So I'm basically working around one important aspect. Okay, and that important aspect would be addressing something related to like no matter what kind of database you are using, you definitely require some space on the storage. So it could be cloud storage, it could be your local storage and so on. So we are talking about two important directories. One is data directory and second one is the configuration directory. Is the screen visible? Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the two important directories that needs to be seen. So if I install a software using a binary, the way that you already did, like using apt-get kind of process, and then you install the software and suddenly you started working with PSQL. So if I have to search for, so we know that Postgres by default till say 10 or even 11 or even 13, few things are changed, but the directory which is used by say Postgres software for data directory can be seen rather in cd/var/lib/postgresql. Then there will be version number, say for example 9.4, that which I have, then main, and then if I write ls, this is the data directory that I have. This is the path of my data directory. Correct. Now what if I wish to install this into, say for example, somewhere here. Suppose I say cd desktop mkdir, say my roll number, for example N961319111903. Suppose this is my number. Okay, like you will be having some number like n or r kind of thing. So suppose I create this directory, then my data directory, the way that I do see over here, should be something like this. Say for example /home/desktop, sorry, /home/Nitin/desktop, and then I may have this kind of thing. So this should be my data directory, and maybe I can say I will add one more subdirectory called pgsql, okay, or PSQL or Postgres for a while, or PG data, for example. So this should be the data directory where my database should be dumped. The way that we go over here and then we get these all details. Instead of using this as a primary source or primary storage for my whole database dump, I want to change that thing. So ultimately, while working with binaries, it may or may not be very easy for me. But then if I have to achieve this particular aspect, what can I do? Correct. So first thing that you are going to do after this session is over, rather. So what you will be doing is you will be adding, rather, or you will be downloading source code of Postgres. So I suggest you to go with either of them. So better would be like if you have to want most of the thorough understandings at a particular level, because 13 is not one of the stable one used nowadays, though it is used for different purposes. But for, like say, to work out the things, we will try to see that we will take version either from 9.4.26 or between 9.4.26 to 11, correct, 11.0. So we'll try to pick that one, and then we will try to see what changes definitely have been made with respect to 11 and then 12 or maybe 13.1. So first thing would be like you have to do is you have to choose the database that you want to work with. So though I added this, like you may see when you go to this link, rather. So ultimately you will be taken to a directory, and then in the directory, like if you go to the source, and you will see different versions added there. So I expect you to work from this 11.0 to 9.4 point, whatever the current version that we have. Like I have 9.4.7 or 5. So you should work with one of them. Like generally, you must be knowing that there is some kind of ideas behind how the versioning should be. Can anyone tell me how the version numbers are given? Which is said to be a stable version and which is said to be an unstable version? Can somebody point out? Yes, please. You can unmute and let me know. Have you heard about versioning system of which is followed mostly by the open source software? Yes or no? Yes. Do you know that versioning system mechanism? Yes, Payal. Can you please let us know like how exactly these versions are identified? Which will not be said to be an stable version and which one is said to be an unstable version. So you may see like this is what it says, because as it is a contribution by a majority number of peoples, correct? So for example, like this was the question raised, are the letters stable and are ones? Like this might be talking about only stable, but if I have to really find out what would be the difference, okay, is there anybody who can let me know what is this stable and unstable version, or why, what is 2.0 and what is 2.1? So what is this odd and even number? Yes, please. Okay, this should be good one for you. An even numbered version indicates a stable release. Now, for example, when I say minor, what exactly it means by? So, if I say 9.3, that 9 is not, we are not talking about that 9, we are talking about that 3. Or 9.1, 9.2, that 2, 3, whatever. It is called as minor version. Okay, that 2, 3, whatever the one. So, if it is even numbered, then it says it is a stable release. And if it is odd number, then it says, okay, there is unstable, there is some development going on, it is under testing. Correct. So when we say this, ultimately you pick one of the stable version that you may be interested in, depending upon the choices that I have given to you. Okay, so we are going to target till up till 11. So considering the number of participants in our course, so I suggest you to pick a member from the class, like whoever are the registered members of our course, say. Okay, you can see that list on in this file that I have shared as well. You have to pick one member from that whole bunch of students who registered for this course, and you have to work with him or her depending upon your choice. Now, sometimes some tasks are to be done by both, or only one of them would be submitted, or both of you would be submitting. So that is your choice. Like if you want to work as an alone, not a problem. I don't have any problem if you are working as an alone. Because while working with two, ultimately if you are not able to justify your work, you may not be given appropriate credit for the work that you did. Correct. So you have to take this call whether you want to work with as an individual or with another member. So you have to let me know that part. So I'll be adding one form or maybe one quiz or one question there. Okay, and then ultimately you have to answer that part. Fine. So are you with me? Okay, so let me move further. So let us assume that you have chosen the version. Suppose let me go with the version that I stated there. So I will take 9.4.26. So okay. So let me see if I get it. Yeah. And generally like 4 to 5 jump, like 9.4 to 9.5 when we say. Correct. So it is definitely a major changes that are happening, and when 9.2 becomes stable, 9.5 becomes stable, then it jumps to 9.6, and whenever some changes are made, then you will see 9.5 point something and so on. Correct. So download the source code, you will be seeing this tar gz. Okay, so let us open that one. So it will take some amount of time depending upon the size and internet connectivity. So let us wait for it getting downloaded. So side by side, you can download the version of your choice. Okay, as I said, between 9.4 to 11. And maybe you can decide this depending upon the partner you are working with. And it basically requires contribution from both of you. Like some tasks would be there which are to be worked in a team perspective and which are to be worked on an individual manner. Fine. So let us extract. So let me extract this here. So let us go to desktop. Yeah. So this is the directory that I got. So you may see there are some files and some directories. This SRC would be containing complete source code. Okay, and like if you really see, so let us if you see this backend, bin, common, include, interfaces, and so on, and there are make files. So in the directory, like you will see something called as M4. So if I try to open this file, okay, so this is a macro file, fine, which is kind of mechanism. M4 is a macro, so standard macro processor with gas. Okay, so let me show you that part. So this is again a macro processor, okay, which is used mostly with the softwares where some configurations are to be done automatically. So this is standard macro processor available with GNU, okay, which is bundled with like most of the programming language, as like most of the part or almost complete part of Postgres is written in C language, right? So you will see that few things are written through this macro processor. Okay, so it is a macro processor which works with GNU softwares. Fine. So let us see. Like I don't expect you to put more time here, but ultimately you will see internally. Perl, Python, TCL are the programming languages. Like you most of the times must have heard about Python, but TCL and probably Perl you might not have heard about. So majority of things are related to some server side scripting. So whenever you are talking about scripting languages, system administrators or database administrators do make use of Perl or Python majority number of times when they have to write some automated jobs. Okay, say for example, I want to run a backup taking job rather every day, say at night. So maybe you must have seen like on your WhatsApp every day night like every day rather in the night at 2 a.m. there is a backup process carried out. So this is a script written. So if you don't have Wi-Fi, then it delays that. Whenever you are in Wi-Fi connectivity zone, then ultimately it starts taking backup. Now, when you talk about such kind of stuff, how this automated automation is done? Okay, because for every database, that automation part should be implemented because whole backup should be kept. Now, because the data that is essentially to be preserved needs backup. And manually, suppose like for example, like we had a scheduled lecture last week, rather 2-3 days back, but I could not take that class and then suddenly we cancelled that class. But can it be automated? Now we have a group, so I can communicate you there only, correct? But if I don't have group, then it is very difficult for me to probably communicate, or you may not be able to communicate others, like whether the class will be there or not. So we want some automation to be carried out. Though we used help of a software, which is not an automation though, but we are trying to find out some solutions so that to achieve the goals. Okay, let me go back to my source code directory. Yeah. So if I open this, see, like, have you heard about configure? So I'm writing two more utilities over here. So note them down. So already I told it to, say, for example, NASM students. So this is another GNU project for AutoConf, extensible package of M4 macros to produce shell scripts to automatically configure software. So when you install through source code, this is the first file that you write, ./configure. So what this configure does, like it checks whether it is sufficient, the sufficient provision is there with respect to hardware, with respect to dependencies and so on. This would be checked by this ./configure, and when everything is proper as per requirement of the software, it creates a make file for you. So like this kind of file can be generated. Okay, so try to find out with AutoConf. And other thing is AutoMake. So this is another project which automatically generates make files, which would be like kind of following the standards provided by GNU. Okay, so that your software can be installed. So while you download the source code, okay, like for example, if I go to the directory, so you will see there is a file called this configure. So if I write say ./configure, okay, so suppose if I write ./configure, so what it does, it is trying to install the software. Now I am terminating that because I already have a software installed. So it is going to check everything. Like you might have seen rather that something is happening in between. Correct. Depending upon the version of your operating system, it will try to see like what are the support libraries needed to install Postgres for a while. Are there or not? If they are not, then it will try to suggest you this is not available, this is conflicting, and so on. So those all messages should be done, shown to you. So first thing that you are going to do is like take backup of your Postgres database. So how can you take that backup? Say for example, there is command man pg dump. So you can take backup using this. Okay, so it would be creating a file for you. Okay, so what you can do, you want what? Say for example, I want to take backup pg dump. So let us go to su Postgres, then your username. Okay, then you write pg dump. Okay, then you may see -d. So if I write, let us see first psql-l. So suppose I want dump off this Nitin. So I will write psql-d Nitin-u Nitin. Okay, sorry. Okay, so it will start that software, but certainly we want to take a dump. So pg_dump -d Nitin, and as a user I want this. So when dump is taken, ultimately, like if you see rather, so I may not be able to see that dump. So what I will do is I will redirect this to p.sql. So what will happen is, like if I go and now check this directory, I will see that there is a dump added for my database. Okay, 742270. See, if I open this file p.sql, so it will give me complete dump of the database that is chosen. Correct. So most of the things would be seen. And certainly, like this, after you install Postgres again through source code, you can't restore this back. Okay, with your database. Only you have to execute this using /i command. Okay, and then it will be taking care of most of the things. Right? Okay, so what command I applied there? Can somebody tell me, repeat that command? Are we working with this one? Control Y. So let us copy this so that I will paste it into your chat box so that you can take this command as an input. So let us take this. So you note down this command. So you first take backup of the database that you have. So you can repeat this process for every database that you want to work with. Fine. And when you are done, then uninstall the software. Now everybody knows now how to uninstall. Make sure that the database, the backup on your disk, laptop or maybe desktop should be taken prior before doing this. I'm not talking about only backup of database. I'm talking about whole thing, because we are going to install through source code. Definitely you may have to sometimes install your OS again if something goes wrong. Correct. So be aware of that fact that it may be the case, like if it is not sufficiently worked out properly, then there can be issues with respect to installing the software. So I expect you to carry out this activity. Okay, note down the activities. Okay, first activity is what? I'm going to add that probably there. Okay, first activity would be what? I want you to download source code of Postgres. Download source code of Postgres. Okay, whatever the version that you want to work with. Nextly, I want you to take dump of your database or databases if you already are using Postgres. Okay, then uninstall Postgres, and nextly you are going to execute by going into that particular directory the way that I tried doing. Like for example, here I executed /configure, correct, earlier. So which started that installation process ultimately, correct? Okay, maybe I tried from here. Yeah, so you have to go to that directory and then say /configure. Now this will install the software. But suppose if I have to change my database directory, fine. So database data directory as well as the configuration files. So for that purpose, you will require to know what is initdb. Fine. Now, whatever data directory I was talking about, the data directory in databases terminology is called as database cluster. Correct. So by default, the database cluster, like if you install through through binaries, then it would be var lab PostgreSQL / say for example version number and then main. Okay. So this would be your data directory, say for example, which we worked out earlier. So let us do this. So Postgres. Then you give password. Then you say Control R CD. So this would be your data directory. Okay. So this one whole thing would be your data directory by default. So now I want you to change this data directory. Instead of the default data directory taken, I want you to take a data directory of your choice, and this is an individual's activity. Individual has to do this, and you definitely will be facing multiple issues. You take 2-3 days rather, and when you are done, you have to attach screenshot of it. Okay, so I'll be adding assignment into Moodle. Most of the activities will be day-to-day basis. I sometimes may not take the class, but I will add the activities that are to be carried out, because now you exactly know what is to be done. Okay, what you have to do? You have to download the source code, install the things. Fine. Now, later part, like after you install the software, okay, through the source code, next thing that you have to create is you have to create your own database cluster. So create own database cluster. Okay. Now this database cluster is to be created using what? Using initdb. So note down this initdb. Fine. Now this initdb will permit you to create, say, database cluster. Now options would be like after this /d, you have to provide the data directory. Like as I said, /home / your username / desktop and then your data directory name. Or maybe in your home directory only you can do this. Either you write --pg data or you write -d. Fine. Another thing that you would be using, like you can read this whole stuff, what are the options given there as in a case. So you can make use of this particular command rather or utility to create your own dump, data directory dump. Okay. You will also can specify username if you want to create your own cluster. So by default it would be Postgres. Okay. But you may have your own stuff as well. Okay, you may have your own username as well. So my suggestion would be like as Postgres is the main user or super user of the system. So you have to always work with, in few cases, while applying such kind of commands, you have to always work with Postgres user. And I will definitely let you know, like the people who did ADC must have seen that, like I have specifically told them, like you have not to make use of Postgres user, you have to make use of your user. Fine. Now when you work with Postgres user, few things are different. Like for example, it is like working with root user and working with your normal user. Though your user is also acting as super user only, like on Linux operating system. But root is having some more permission in comparison to your user, which itself is one kind of administrator. So same thing, like we have operating system users on the database system. There are different users. Okay, how can you check that? So if you go to say man PSQL, so let us see like what you can do. So -L, try to see first. Yeah. So this L will list all databases for you. Fine. Then let us go below. If you want to connect to port and so on, this also would be taken care of. So -U you can make use of if you want to connect with. Correct. So if I have to work with say my users, so let me write this du. So this du tells me what are the different users available on my system. In this case, you may see these are the two users, okay, on my machine. This is my super user of the database, okay, and this is my user, okay, which is created by me, not by the database system. So this can have role as a super user, but every super user will not have same roles or same attributes as Postgres. Postgres will have some additional things. You even can create groups of users. Say for example, like let us say we are working in a distributed manner, like one source code is kept, like GitHub kind of utility is there, like say our source code is stored there, and we are manipulating the directory. So there are say 10 directories, and I want specifically to work with say group number 1 should work with group directory number 1. So I can group and set the permissions accordingly. So ultimately same thing can be achieved. Say for example this, like I will give you the command. You have to find out this, what exactly this create group is. So this create group will permit you to create different groups. And if you see rather, when you write /h and create, see how many options are there after create. These many options are available with you, okay, which can be used by you. Okay, so you can create users, you can create aggregates, groups, everything, databases, correct? You can create languages, okay, you can create indexes, you can create tables, functions, everything is possible. And like though we completed databases course, or though some of you must have completed ADC, but we are not the users, like we are not the kind of people who understood everything about the system. There are multiple things that needs to be understood. Fine. So your task for first day is what? You have to work with, first download the source code, which I mentioned in chat window, by taking backup if you already have the database done. Okay. After you complete each activity listed in the chat, okay, you have to create or you have to take screenshot of that activity. Fine. And every screenshot, like after your first task is done, like first task contains these all things. Say for example, create, like for example, let us not go with say varlib for a while. I want these 4 steps to be carried, like pg dump, then download your source code, okay, then take dump of your database, okay, what are the databases that you have, and then you install Postgres. Okay, so this would be your first activity for today. Now second activity would be like you have to create your own database cluster. So that will require you to understand everything about pg dump. Fine. So like with assumption that 2 of you would be working, second thing would be like second task would be first let me know who is your team member. Okay. So I am going to add one quiz. Okay, where I will be asking you what is your name and who is your partner. So through the form, you have to communicate that data through the form. And every member is supposed to write this, because I may want Aniket to be my partner, but Aniket may not want me to take me as a partner. Correct. So you are saying from one side, it should be accepted from both the sides. Correct. So you have to specifically tell whether you want to work alone or whether you want to work in a group. Fine. So I will appreciate if you are working on alone basis. It will be really helpful because you will learn too many things. Otherwise, we are heavily dependent on the partner. If each one of you is working separately, I will appreciate that part as well. It is very good rather. You will get much more credit than working in a team, because generally credit award in a team is like dependent. Dependent, I mean to say, like if you did the work and if you cannot speak, if you cannot tell, if you cannot communicate, ultimately the other party who can speak very well is gaining the benefit. So that should be avoided. So that is your decision completely, whether you want to work in a team or whether you want to work as an individual member. Decide that, and you have to update that on the forum that I will be sharing by tomorrow morning. Okay, you can discuss with your partners, the classmates, or the senior batch people also can be taken into consideration for forming the team. So from MCA final year and MSc second year, the team should be formed if at all you want to work in a team. Otherwise, individuals also can work there. Fine. Now, when I said a team, submission would be like there will be task-based submission. So some task will be done like I will give some team aspects as well, where who team member one, team member number one, team member number two. You have to decide who would be them. If you are working with two members of member having two members in a team, kind of say, in such a case, then I will be giving specifically assignments to that number one and number two. Okay, and then they can communicate to each other that what exactly they achieved and so on. Okay, so this is what I wanted you to first understand. So probably like if you all are ready, so we will try to see whether is it possible to take class tomorrow. So at that time I will introduce you like or I want to listen from you all what are your experiences with respect to InitDB. Right? Okay. So let us decide that by say evening. So I am saying I am proposing class today. So I will let you know the timing, say by today evening. So if you have any activities scheduled, you can let me know. Okay, because at least 1 hour or half hour is to be put as an effort by you, because you are not to read anything. Reading, I mean to say, like you are not to read anything in the sense, everything would be done by you on a practical manner. Okay, so very few times you would be reading books for a while. Okay, but ultimately you are going to read source code. So you have to understand how to read source code. That would be one kind of activity that is really important. Fine. Though I haven't opened any file today, so maybe in our tomorrow's session, probably, hopefully, I will open one of the source file in front of you, and then we will see like what to do with this case. Fine. Any query, question, quiz, you can let me know. You can unmute yourself and ask. Otherwise, we'll stop the session. I'm stopping recording. And I will upload this session on